What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Hoda Husband Podcast. I'm your host, Terry Duran. I got my co-host, Jay Bob, on the building with me today. What's good, bro?
Not much, man. Glad to be back and chop it up with you here tonight here. Obviously, you see SD is missing here. Definitely be missed this week, but we look forward to having him back next week here. Want to quickly remind you, you can catch us on TikTok as well as subscribe to us on YouTube at Hoda Husband Podcast. And those for you that are interested in promos or shout-outs, you can shoot us a DM on IG at Hoda Husband Podcast, as well as shoot us an email at hodahusbandpodcast@gmail.com. All right, T.
I want to give a shout out to my man, Brother Soul Productions, for keeping us lights with our background music. I want to remind everybody that y'all can support the podcast through our Cash App and our PayPal. Anything you give helps. And I'd also like to remind everybody that y'all can catch the audio playback of the podcast every Monday afternoon at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time on thecore94.com. Today's episode is titled We're Just Talking. And we're going to be having a conversation about casual dating and the type of expectations you should have when you're in the talking phase with somebody. There seems to be a lot of confusion about that. But y'all know how we do around here, man. We like to discuss, we like to start the podcast off by discussing stuff that we've seen either trending or stuff that we've seen on our timelines. And so I came across this one video where a guy is talking about the difference between a guy a woman just wants to have fun with and how women really treat the guys that they want to be with long term. Let's take a look.
If you're getting seen as hubby material, boyfriend material, you get nothing.
Yeah.
Once she loves you, you get nothing.
Yeah.
But the bare minimum. Of course, a lot of them gonna be like, I don't know who you dealing with.
I've given threesomes in the past to men that I've been with without a problem, and I had no feeling or emotion attached to it. But the current guy that I'm with now, in the beginning, like the first month, I used to talk my and tell him that. But now I would never, I don't even want him to look another way, you know. And this is the first guy that I've ever felt like that with.
And then what they say, because I don't love you like that.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep. But if you was like mine,
Yeah.
you was like my nigga, like I couldn't do this with my nigga. Like in their mind,
Come on now.
they rationalize like I don't love you, so I could just be wild with you.
Yeah.
But my guy, no, I don't want him to see me like that. So I
Facts.
can't. And then I look at it like, damn, that nigga's getting the short end of the
You get the
stick.
short. That's why a lot of niggas get fooled, because just like you said, the boyfriend potential, so she puts on the act, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then these niggas be feeling like, oh yeah, she made people wait. No, she made you wait.
Yeah,
boy.
she made you wait. She made you wait.
Yeah, I mean, this is stuff that you really don't really see this side of it unless you like have sisters or cousins that you close with, or you've been a side dude. You know what I mean? Like when you see how women actually respond to guys that they like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and want to be with, or the guys that they what's the word? They vibe with. You know what I mean? It's like night and day. You know what I mean? Like, and it's. What'd you think of the video?
Man, it's funny, you know how women treat the guys that they really like versus one they may not be feeling so much. Like the fun guy, yeah, a lot of stuff right out the window. You know, they giving it up. Whereas they're opposed to the other guy, making him have to wait, talking about, hey, I got a 90-day rule. and we all know, a lot of times that's bullshit, because there was a guy that did not wait 90 days. Might have got likely got the same night.
Yeah, it's funny, because I used to get the long-term guy treatment, not necessarily. How can I put it? I was perceived that way by a lot of chicks, and I couldn't understand why. Like they would smash one of my friends or one of my homies or whatnot, and then try to come to me on a serious relationship type vibe. And I used to be like so offended, like, man, you got me fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I want that same treatment.
Yeah, I mean, so I always looked at it like as a good thing. Like I know I'm would be a good husband, or if a chick got pregnant by me, that they could tell that I would do what was necessary. But I had to figure out how to get the treatment my partners was getting. You know what I mean? Well, and part of it is like we talked about before, being too nice and trying to do stuff that you think it works on chicks. But
You know,
reality check.
I think what a lot of men fail to realize is, listen, women want to have sex just as much as guys do. Women think about it just as much as guys do. In some cases, even more, right? And I think a lot of times men just don't realize that.
Well, sex with women has more consequences than with men in a lot of cases. So I think women have a lot more to consider when it comes to actual, sex and whatnot. But in situations like this, where, what I've learned is you get the most action out of a woman once you build that trust. You know what I mean? And like they were saying in the video, women, when they like you or they see you as a long-term option, they try to manipulate the situation by portraying themselves to be something that they think you want. You know what I mean? So the key for me was always establishing a level of trust early on in the communication, to where I let them know that I don't even think about relationships like that. Like, I ain't even looking for no serious relationship. But I would establish that I was private. I kept my business to myself, and I would create the scenario to where anything we do is our business. You know what I'm saying? Type of vibe, and that's what got me over the hump.
Right. I mean, that's a great point that you bring up, but don't you think it's a little harder this day? Because I think at that time, this is, pre-social media era, where nowadays everything is on camera here. Everything is getting posted on social media. I mean, I think you can still be private because, I'm a private person myself, but I think it's just a tad bit harder because like I said, everybody has a smartphone, everything's on camera and can be put on social media.
Man, I've been married just, tomorrow will be 20 years.
Hey, happy anniversary, man.
Appreciate it. So I can't really say, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what my dating behaviors would be. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm pretty sure I know for a fact my social media behavior would be drastically different if I was single. You know what I mean? Like, so the things that I would say, the way that I would present myself, it would be as if I'm marketing myself to chicks I'm trying to smash. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't know how private I'd be able to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even know, like, being popular on social media and having followers and all that, and it ain't like I'm famous or nothing, but when you get recognized or people, I saw you and stuff like that, I don't know how that would impact me if I was single. You know what I'm saying? Like, I guess I ain't. SD, we kind of see what it's like through him. But he's so meticulous, and he ain't out just recklessly being in the streets like that.
Right. Yeah, I just think it's a little harder now than it was 20 years ago with this day and age of social media and the smartphone era.
Well, I mean, I get that part of it, but you got some people that just got to show everything. They got to post a story everywhere they go. They got to talk about everything that they did. So you can pick up on those type of tendencies to just, when you're doing your initial checks, or, once you meet somebody and you going through their social media or whatnot, you'll be able to see how much of their life they share with the world or whatnot. And to me, those are things that I would be using to weed chicks out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to be on social media like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I got a platform and I discuss relationships and dating and all that, but I don't want everybody paying attention to everything I do. You know what I'm saying? Like,
nah. For you don't even post much of your personal life on social media. Like, I could probably count on one hand how many times I've seen you post anything, regarding your marriage or just your personal life on social media.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's what works best. You know what I'm saying? Like, social media is a toxic place. You know what I mean? And so my wife has had negative experiences with people who, I'll post a happy anniversary post or something, and the first couple of times I tagged her, and so she would get all kind of new thirsty followers trying to slide her DMs and all kind of. It's a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, so for me, I don't need the validation to try to prove my life to people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm straight. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm good even behind the scenes.
And that's a valid point that you raised, because that speaks to someone's insecure feeling you to always post everything on social media, searching for external validation. And I think at some point you gotta be careful too, as a man. Somebody that posts in their location, posting everything they do, that could be a potentially security risk on you if you're not careful.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, things like that. I don't think a lot of single people are really thinking about that aspect of it, or people feeling like they're doing something dangerous. But just in regards to, you know, dating, or when you, at least from a male perspective, when you're a single man, just about everything you do is marketing. You know what I mean? Like, so from keeping your hair cut to keeping your you know what I'm saying, your look together and all that. The guys that are having success with women pay attention to those type of things. And so evaluating a woman and how they move, man, there's a lot to consider in today's day and age. I guess we'll get into that a little bit later. This next post I wanted to talk about was a post that I came across with Joy Taylor on FS1 and on her podcast, where they were being candid about women's standards in regards to the men that they meet. Let's take a look.
Can we just keep it a buck? If they're fine enough, if they're funny enough, or if their financial status is what you want, fine, funny, fucking money, you're throwing all boundaries, standards, all that shit you talk on Instagram.
I mean, what they saying is accurate. We know that the standards and the rules that women have a lot of times, or to weed out guys, or things that they apply to the guys that they don't want. But I mean, any guy that has success with women have heard, I don't usually do this, or like women making exceptions to their rules for him. So I'm just glad that some women finally admitted it. You know what I mean? Because a lot of women try to make it seem like they have this strict standards and they stand on business on everything, and that's definitely not the case.
Yep. I mean, listen, we've been, it's something men been saying. I mean, listen, we've said it on this podcast here for years that, listen, women are always going to make an exception for the guy that she likes. She might have these, I guess, rigid standards, but when it comes to guys she will always make an exception. If she says, "Oh, I expect a guy to do X, Y, take me to this fancy restaurant or do this for me, pay all my bills," the guy she likes, all that goes right out the window, just like she said in the video there.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, the climate that we live in today, a lot of the motives behind dating is to just see what you can get from somebody. Guys are just trying to see if they can get sex, and a lot of women are just trying to see what they can get financially, whether that's free meals, gifts, clothes, etc. So it is, unfortunately, that's the mentality that's being pushed through the media. You know what I'm saying? And the videos and the music and the viral, songs on TikTok. They're all about spending the guy's money and buying luxury stuff and all this type of thing. So that's what's going to be perpetuated in the behaviors.
Yep. And what's even worse too, now you even have content creators out here that are telling women how to get money out of guys, how to use men for money and get to, exploitative relationships, all the things you just said right there.
I mean, there's always going to be somebody taking advantage of a sucker, right? But the guys that are not having success, man, it puts you in a desperate place. You know what I mean? Like, so they are vulnerable. They are targets. And by the time they smarten up or come to the realization that they just got finessed, it's too late. They done flew her out. They done, they've done something substantial that they probably shouldn't have done.
Yep.
Instead of learning how, I guess in my brain, I think everybody is fixable, right? Like, right. There's always things you can do to make yourself more desirable or have more success with the opposite sex. Now, whether you willing and able to do those things, that's neither here or there. But a dude that's serious about I mean, you ain't got, it might not be be a player and have, several women, but a guy that wants to have at least one woman is gonna put in the work to make sure he's presentable physically, you know what I'm saying? Make sure he get himself in a position to he make a certain income, all that, because those are the things that matter.
Absolutely. But you know what? I think here's the problem we have. I think, unfortunately, a lot of men, I might even say average guy, is, either desperate for sex or just desperate to have female companionship. And the thing is, these females are overtly aware of this, and they know they can take advantage of these kind of men. Like you said, these guys are vulnerable and wide open.
Man, it's still hard for me to wrap my mind around that. Like every time, SD spit some of the facts about, the single guys and how they just addicted to porn and all that. It's like, man, how do you get yourself in a position where you don't have no females? Like, I can't, my brain don't even operate like that. Like that's been a fundamental component of my life, like as long as I can remember, trying to get the cute girls to hang out and sit with me and all that type of stuff. So man, I feel sorry for the dudes, shout out to the guys out there that are coaching them up and trying to help them get over the hump or whatnot. But there ain't no shortcuts for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause the way that women's brains or the way that they operate, they're naturally drawn to such a small percentage of guys. It's always going to be an uphill battle for those other guys.
Yeah, but I think that's like you said, it's what do you do to make yourself better, make yourself more marketable to the opposite sex. But like you said, it's unfortunate for those kind of men. But I think another thing too, what men do, and I think the biggest mistake men can make too, is trying to lead with money to get a woman. I feel like if you're leading with your money, you're kind of just throwing in the towel and compensating for a lack of game. And women are going to take advantage of that as well.
Well, I mean, it takes money to do anything.
If
you want it, no matter who you gonna hang out with, whether it's your nieces and nephews, your sisters or brothers, as from a male perspective, you have to spend money on anything you do. So you should expect to spend money for female companionship. You know what I mean? Like, now that does not mean you are paying a woman to hang out with you. What that means that usually when a man is hanging out with a woman, you need something to keep things flowing. Food, drinks. You need to, have the weed. You need to be able to set the mood or push things to where you're creating an environment where she wants to stay longer. You know what I'm saying? Like where a woman is, because when a woman is around you and she's comfortable, when she take off her shoes or she like your crib or she's, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's how you can have the kind of conversations and the body language will get to a point where romance can happen. And ultimately, that was always my goal.
That's definitely good stuff there, man.
All right, man. Look like we are up against the clock, so we're about to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to be getting into tonight's topic. We're just talking. Where we're talking about casual dating and the realistic expectations you should have of somebody during the dating phase. You are tuned into the Ho to Husband podcast. We'll be back in a minute. Hi, I'm relationship coach and author Terry Duran, and I am pleased to announce that my book, It's Not That Complicated, is finally available as an audiobook. So if you don't like to read or you just don't have time to read a paperback book, this audiobook is perfect for you. You can listen to it while you're in your car, while you're at work, etc. In the book, I break down how husband material men think and operate in regards to sex, love, and relationships, and I provide real quality insight on how husband material men approach dating. The audiobook is available on audible.com and on iTunes. All you have to do is go to one of the websites and search for my name, Terry Duran. Go download your copy today. All right, everybody, welcome back to the Ho to Husband podcast. Tonight's episode is titled We're Just Talking. And we're talking about casual dating and the realistic expectations you should have of somebody during the dating or the talking phase. A lot of people have relationship expectations from the moment that they meet somebody. And to me, having expectations like that are a bit so unrealistic really just either set you up to be hurt and disappointed, or is going to create a situation where you're not going to have any sustained dating experiences, because people are going to fail to meet your expectations, which is going to create conflict, and that's usually, a problematic thing, a problematic approach, especially for a woman.
Yeah, absolutely. I think both gotta have realistic expectations when it comes to dating, and find common ground and build from there.
Yeah, I mean, so I guess the word talking, that's such a broad term,
Right.
because talking can mean anything from you just met somebody and got they number, or y'all have had a DM conversation, or it could be somebody you've been fucking off and on for years. You know what I mean? Like, there's no universal definition for the term, and so in a lot of times it's used to describe a situationship, or a situation where somebody's being misled. You know what I mean? And that usually, I would say, the people that are easily misled the most in those type of situations are usually the women, because they're usually the ones that that go into the dating situation hoping that it becomes a relationship. And so a lot of guys, the fuck boys, have figured out the fastest route to get what they want from women is to tell them what they want to hear and sell dreams and hope.
Yeah, I think, and I see women go for it all the time, hook, line, and sinker here. Because like I said, most, like those fuck girls you just described, they're not going to say, hey, I'm not looking for a relationship, I'm just looking to jump into bed with you, because he knows that it does not serve him to do that. Women probably are going to be with it.
Yeah, I mean, and then you got to think about, you got all these dating apps. Most people these days, or a large percentage of people, are meeting through social media or some type of digital platform. So a lot of people are so anxious to meet somebody or get so excited when they think they've met the one or somebody with potential, that they do silly things and put themselves in bad positions. You know what I mean? Like we were talking about earlier, the guys that lead with money and I can do this and I can pay this and I can do it. Like, they're setting up all these expectations that they probably can't maintain. You know what I'm saying? Just in the effort to try to get you to like me. And that's problematic to begin with. But that's really no different than the woman that lead with her body. And all she do is thirst trap to get guys to slide in her DMs. Like, yeah, that a lot of those women are looking for serious relationships and are unaware that the marketing that they're doing is basically is almost guaranteed to prevent them from getting that.
I mean, the thirst trap, it'll get guys in your DMs, but
Facts.
He's looking to smash you. That's always, he's not looking, he's already put you just for fun category. He's not even putting you in a wifey material category when you're doing that.
Yeah, I mean, even it's always possible when you start talking to someone, because obviously the whole purpose of the talking to somebody or communicating, whatever term you want to give to it, the whole purpose is to figure out if y'all actually compatible or not long term, right?
Yes.
But for most guys, they're cool even if you're not my long term option. You could be miss right now. Like, we can still hang out, we can still get food, we can still do all the stuff that we like to do. The difference is he's not gonna be disappointed or heartbroken once it stops. You know what I mean? And so this talking stage, or especially if it gets extended for a long, months, you've been talking to somebody and y'all texting, every day and all that. To me, my approach, man, I'm not really with all that. We gotta try to link up as soon as possible. You know what I mean? So if when I was single, if I met a woman and we talking on the phone here and there, I'm trying to suggest a place where we can meet in person. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, talking on the phone is cool, but I like one-on-one interactions. And they say body language is 80-90% of the conversation. It's always a better vibe to me when a woman that is attracted to you is in your presence.
I definitely agree with that. I mean, I guess having phone conversations is cool. You see if you vibe with them over the phone, and I guess if you vibe them over the phone, it would give you more of a incentive to want to see that person and see how you actually interact with each other, in person. That wherever you decide to meet at.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I just think, man, from what I see, and a lot of these viral videos, a lot of people approach dating kind of from a perspective where they're looking for a reason to cut somebody off. You know what I mean? Like, I would say I see that more so with women than men. Because guys typically are looking for something that they like about the woman. And
Right.
Most guys are not going to shoot their shot at a woman they didn't like something about. So for you to be in a talking stage from the male perspective, you had to like something. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
But in order for the woman to actually have success, she gotta market herself in a way to get the guy that she actually likes to approach her. And a lot of them go wrong with that. And then, like I said, when they do meet a guy, instead of, trying to make sure that he's compatible in the areas that matter, they eliminate guys for really shallow or silly reasons when they're not really in a position to do so, in my opinion.
Yeah, but like you said, I think, you know what it is? I think we live in a, with this day and age of social media, we live in kind of a monkey see, monkey do type society, right? So just like you said, a lot of women get online looking for reasons to cut a guy off. So they see that, and now they're kind of doing the same thing. They just look for these silly, trivial reasons to cut a guy off. And who knows, for what it's worth, that guy potentially could have been a viable partner for you, somebody that you can build with.
Yeah, because that's essentially what long-term dating is. You meet somebody and y'all hang out, and y'all get along to the point where there's never really no reason for y'all to fall out or cut each other off. You know what I mean? Because, anybody can really attest to this. When you on a date with somebody and y'all really like each other and things are going really well, it's almost unheard of to not have a suggestion of hanging out again. You know what I'm saying? Y'all hanging out on a Saturday, man, what you doing tomorrow, man? They're like, what you doing? What you doing Monday? Like, that's fellas, if you're not doing that, you are tripping. You know what I'm saying? Like, you should be trying to make time or trying to make yourself available for the women that you actually like. But if you are just looking for something to be upset over or something to debate or argue over, then you're creating an environment that's not going to be pleasant to be around. And that's a lot of the feedback you get from guys. A lot of these women are beautiful. They love the sex, but their personalities and just being around them is unpleasant for a lot of guys.
Yeah, it is. I mean, look, nobody wants to get somebody where you're going to have to fuss or debate with all the time, right? It's not pleasant to be around. You want to be with somebody where you're having, dope discussions, dope conversations. That's the person, you want to move forward with.
True. And like I said, if you approach dating the right way, that talking stage or that talk, whatever you call it, that'll allow you to see if y'all are aligned as far as your lifestyle. You know what I mean? Like, there's no point in trying to get with somebody that doesn't live a similar lifestyle to you. You know what I mean? Like, so if you met a chick and she's call herself a baddie and she's going, she's talking about her goal is to get a BBL and all these type of things. Well, if you try to pursue a relationship with her or try to make that something serious, that's on you. You know what I mean? Like, you had enough information or enough insight to figure out that this is not probably going to be conducive to a long-term relationship. But I wanted to ask you, so in today's, day and age, when you meet a new chick, how do you feel about her possibly having history with somebody you know?
I mean, it depends. Like, if it was like, say, an associate or somebody I wasn't really, I knew of them or know them, maybe we used to work together, something like that. It's not gonna really bother me because, listen, everybody got a past. I understand that they've been with somebody before me. I'm obviously not gonna be the first person that they slept with, right? But now, if it's somebody I'm cool with, somebody that I'm really friends with, we know each other on that kind of level, right? Would I date her? Probably not. To me, that's just not appropriate. That's just my take on that.
Again, I've never really had that situation come up. Me and my partners, if it ain't your baby mama or somebody you was in a serious relationship with, then she's free game. You know what I'm saying? Like, so a lot of my buddies, we've smashed some of the same chicks, and it's all love. It's a good reminisce story. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's not. I've never lost a homeboy over a chick or fought over a chick or nothing like that. You know what I mean? But I've never met a woman and like been falling for a chick and found out she smashed one of my close friends either. To me, like you said, everybody got a pass. So as long as it ain't, if you was with somebody that I'm really cool with, I would think that I would know, I would know you. But I guess it's always possible that they know somebody from your high school or somebody that you knew a long time ago. And to me, that wouldn't bother me. I think it would be kind of awkward, if they had a child with somebody that I knew, like with the co-parent and all that. But again, I've never had that situation, so never had the experience.
I haven't had a situation like that neither.
Yeah. Now, I have had situations where somebody that I know is dating a chick that I know about her past. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they don't. But to me, in situations like that, I'm not about to out nobody or do all that, because most people don't really want to hear the truth about the chick, the person that they falling for. And in a lot of situations, you look like a hater, or you look like you jealous of them, and that's why you bringing them the information or whatnot. So that's the kind of the closest that I've come to that situation, where as far as knowing about somebody's past or whatnot. But it ain't my business, what I'm saying? Like, so you like it, I love it. You know what I mean? That's kind of how I look at it. I don't really I really ain't that concerned with who other people are smashing or how they who they have sex with. I wanted to ask you, or get your thoughts on this. I posted something earlier this week where a guy had said something about a chick that he'd been talking to for 3 months. Told him that she had sex with another guy last week. And so he posed the question, should I view this as cheating and move on? And so when I saw it, I immediately laughed, because to me, it just showed that dude was clueless about how the world really works. Because if you've been talking to a chick for months and she tells you about her dick appointment, she don't give a fuck how you respond to it, bro.
Exactly. But he said cheating. I'm like, wait a second. It don't sound like I was even together in the first place. So I'm like, how was she cheating on you? Like, listen, like I said, she didn't give a fuck how you responded. Clearly, she does not fool with you for real. Like
Yeah, now
past time with or something.
right now, but his feeling or his thoughts on that, I can understand how somebody could feel that way,
Right.
because I know when you like somebody and you think that the feeling is mutual and y'all are actually talking, like they not just giving you one word responses, y'all are actually having conversations and you're actually learning about them and things of that nature. From my experience, 3 months, 90 days, and y'all ain't got, I mean, well, I guess I don't know from the just from reading the message whether or not he's been involved with her or not. But it don't sound like it, because I don't think a guy that's smashing a chick or involved with a chick is gonna ask her when's the last time she had sex, because you would know, right? You know what I'm saying? And so to me that seems so high school, and fellas, that ain't never a discussion you really want to have with a chick that you ain't, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
that's never gonna be in your favor. You know what I'm saying? Like, because for one, do you really expect the honest answer? You know what I'm saying? Like,
We won't 9 times out of 10.
nah, and me personally, I hate it when chicks ask me stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like, when's the last time you did it? Like, man, why are you all in my business? You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's not a good practice, because when you ask, invasive questions like that, you're gonna get answers that you probably not happy about.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But in this situation, I can't even imagine how that conversation went. Like, how do you stay on the phone after that? Like, how do you change the conversation?
It had to be awkward, last time you text, hey, that week ago with a guy, I'm just bashing.
Yeah, and for him to be thinking that they in a serious in a relationship or owe some type of loyalty, that got to be a new generation thing. Because I've seen posts on social media where people be like, you got to be loyal from the talking stage, and I was like, whoa, loyal? I ain't committed to nobody. Like, loyal, I mean, when you talking to somebody, your only expectation should be put effort into to getting to know me and be willing to hang out, you know what I'm saying, or link up, or whatever word you want to use for it. That don't necessarily mean we got to have sex. And I know there are a lot of guys that if I spend any money, I gotta have sex. You know what I'm saying? Like, they have this kind of extreme attitude. That's crazy too.
That is. But I think in that situation just there, right? I just think it's a situation where I don't think he did a good job at reading the room here, because I mean, it doesn't sound like she was really into him, and you've been talking to her for 3 months. You should be able to see, okay, is she feeling like? Because listen, she feeling like that. Look, hey, what you doing Friday night? Nothing. Hey, let's get up. She's looking to get with you on Friday night, Saturday, whatever it is, right? If that's not happening, all you're doing is just, having phone conversations or just exchanging a few text messages, and then she's just telling you she had sex last week. I mean, that's everything. But like I said, there was probably signs before that conversation even came up.
Yeah, you know the routine. What's up? She's unavailable, you know what I'm saying, at nighttime, or just go ghost for days at a time. Like, there are signs that you can tell when somebody's, involved with somebody else or whatnot. But again, that gray area of the talking phase, well, I wanted to ask you, I know there's a big thing about, what you can and can't, or what you should and shouldn't do for somebody. If you met a woman and y'all were just talking, she's hit you with one of them, I don't know how I'm gonna pay this cell phone bill. And
I don't do. See, and I know what women do. It's basically job begging. Like, damn, I wish I had the money, but I don't know what I'm gonna do. I kind of just, hey, listen, I'm sorry to hear. I hope you. If I don't know you like that, I am not offering to pay your phone bill, and I've known you for 15 minutes here. Like, hey, listen, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope you can figure something out and kind of dip. It's like we talk for 15 minutes, and you know, like I said, trying to ask without asking.
But some dudes will go for it, man. Like they wouldn't do it if that type of stuff didn't work. You know what I mean? Like, but again, some guys don't have the heart to be able to tell women no, or be able to, because they be so struck by the attractiveness or the beauty that they just give in. You know, man, I remember I had a buddy when I was in the Army. So we were all broke, you know what I'm saying, relatively. But bro, like he would do stuff to try to impress chicks that just was so unnecessary. Like I remember, for example, we was all hanging out and we met some chicks, right? That I think they went to some college or something. And so everybody was on one. And this dude, my roommate, was talking to a chick. He asked me to borrow $10 so that he could buy some milk and deliver it to the chick that he had just met.
Oh, man.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what?
Crazy.
So,
oh man. And did somebody give him $10 to go bring that woman?
Yeah, I had gave him the $10. Okay. Like he asked me to borrow $10, and then I found out what it was. Like
after
yeah. Well, I was talking to the chick that I'm talking to, and she was like, "Oh, your roommate just came over and brought her some milk." You know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of how I found out what happened. So I'm like, "Oh, this dude is lame as hell, bro."
Man, and the crazy part when you do something like that, right? You do that, she take me, thank you, and she go about her business, and she smashes a dude that ain't even doing any of that. Come on.
Man, I mean, I guess, you know, maybe I'm just not as nice as he was, or I'm not a nice guy like that. But to me, man, I'm not. That was doing way too much for a chick that we all had just met like a day or two before that. So, was that his way to try to get one-on-one with her or whatnot? I guess, but you had to borrow money to do it. You went and bought some milk, and you drove to her spot to stop, man. You know what I'm saying? Like that was crash dummy behavior. But to me, those were the type of things that showed me how drastically different guys operate. Because ain't no way in hell I would have done nothing like that.
I'm not doing that neither. I mean, like I said, I've learned those lessons the hard way. Trust me.
Yeah, you know, it's to be living in today, or to be becoming an adult in, you know, the past 2010. Everything is more difficult. You know what I'm saying? Like the goals of generations before in regards to dating and creating families, a lot of people can't afford to do that these days. You know what I mean? Like the economics of simply having a home or an apartment or too much for a person to afford by themselves, especially in places New York, San Francisco, etc. And so I don't know if, even though the necessity for people to pool their resources to be able to build together is much more dire now, I don't think that the philosophies and the dating strategies people actually have are putting them in position to actually do that.
I agree with that. I think what folks need to realize is, especially if you're going to get in a relationship, build a family, and get to a marriage, it's supposed to be a partnership, right? It's supposed to be a team sport. So you should be pooling resources together. I mean, listen, average person isn't making $100,000, you know? So it's definitely important that you pool resources so you can build on something here.
Yeah, you know,
I want a person making X amount of dollars, and, you know, I can just do nothing here.
Yeah, you know, that's why it never makes really a lot of sense to me, you know, how if a guy's not at a certain threshold, he's just undateable. Well, it's like, well, every year his salary's going to go up. It's possible he could get another career or another job. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's completely eliminating a dude that is a solid dude because he only makes $70K or only makes a certain amount. that's a foolish mentality to me. But I don't really have a lot of sympathy for the women that operate like that, because if you want to set your dating standards to where there's only a small percentage of available men that meet that criteria, then you just got to live with the consequences. You know what I mean? And so we see the response when they get older and they start to realize that the husband material men ain't really checking for them.
Yeah, man, cold world out there.
Yeah. So the talking phase. Let's just rehash. This is when you should be trying to figure out if you are compatible with somebody long term. So hopefully y'all can go to somewhere fun. Y'all can do some type of activity. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can link up to where y'all can have one-on-one or heart-to-heart conversations. Because to me, those are the things that are the best indicators of whether you can actually vibe with somebody or not. If you can't sit with somebody and actually they're interested enough, or they can't hold a conversation to where y'all can talk for a couple hours, the odds of y'all actually having a serious relationship don't seem that high to me.
At all.
All right, man. Looks like we are up against the clock. So we about to get up out of here. But before we go, I want to give another shout out to my man, Brother Soul Productions, for keeping us laced with our background music. I want to remind y'all to continue supporting the podcast or our Cash App and our PayPal. Jay, man, I appreciate you linking up so we can get this episode knocked out. We're looking forward to having SD back so we can have the whole crew back hopefully next week. This has been another episode of the Hold a Husband podcast, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.